Welcome back to Business RadioX Pro Tips. Lee Kantor, Stone Payton here with you this afternoon. Lee, let's talk a little bit about how to move from idea to execution.
Yeah, a lot of people have lots of great ideas, but they never get past the idea stage. So I think it's important to really move from idea to execution. And that execution doesn't have to be full-blown rollout. It just has to be, let's test it in the marketplace. So first, you have this idea. You see a problem that needs a solution, or you think of a solution that needs a problem. Whatever it is, write it down. Then kind of wrestle with it a little. Play out different scenarios. What's the best case scenario? What's the worst case scenario? Could it work? Where are the holes? What are the weaknesses? What are the strengths? Is there a way to test it on a small scale? What's the worst thing that can happen if I test it and I roll it out and it fails? What's the best case scenario? What's the upside if it succeeds? Is it worth the investment in time? Is it worth the investments in money? Is it worth the investment in terms of resources? Is this a distraction? Am I doing this just to hide from some other work that I should be doing instead? Now, most ideas are going to die here at this stage. But if you give yourself a deadline to say, okay, at the end of this exercise, I'm going to give myself, 3 days to make this decision. I'm going to either move forward or I'm not going to move forward. And if at the end of 3 days you've decided or haven't decided, then you've decided you're not moving forward. But if you decide to move forward, how can you get feedback from the market as quickly as possible? Who are the people that this idea impacts the most? And how can you test it with them as quickly as possible? Even that test doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to get it in front of the people that really can benefit from this and see if it's going to get any traction. So now if you get traction, keep testing, keep rolling it out farther. If you're not getting traction, pull the ripcord, get rid of it. If you don't get traction, bail and move on to the next idea, or take an iteration of this idea and combine it with some other idea. But all these exercises of testing these ideas, they're part of the learning process. It's teaching you to kind of execute. It's teaching you what works and what doesn't work. And you really have to double down on what works, and you got to get rid of the things that aren't working.